Welcome to the Wife Stories YouTube channel. New video every day, and don't forget to subscribe. Here we go.
I swipe through my phone with the half-conscious intent of distracting myself from another sleepless night. My thumb stalls on a picture that doesn't belong to me. A photo of my wife, Evelyn, with her head tilted back in laughter. I know that smile. She uses it when she feels completely at ease, unguarded, alive. But she's not smiling at me. She's smiling at a man I once called a friend. My heart hammers as I realize I'm looking at a casual snapshot taken together at some hotel lounge, or maybe in one of those chic rooftop bars with string lights overhead. In the background, there's a view of a cityscape, tall buildings shimmering with after-hours luminescence. I can practically hear the clinking of glasses in the background. She's wearing a sleek red dress, the kind she usually reserves for important business events. Her hand rests on his shoulder. His hand is on her waist, fingers splayed possessively against the shimmering fabric. He's leaning in, lips close to her ear, as though whispering some private joke. She's beaming in that photo. Radiant, in fact. And as I stare, my stomach twists itself into knots that nearly strangle the breath from my lungs. It's not the first time I've suspected something. But suspicion, even when it's gnawing at your insides, can still be brushed aside by hope. You can cling to illusions that you're overthinking. That you're reading too much into the new perfume she wears, or her sudden need to go on extended business trips with new marketing clients. You can willfully ignore the lateness of her return calls or the distance in her eyes. But that photograph, the comfortable familiarity of their bodies, the glimmer in her smile, unravels every excuse I've made for her. My name is Richard Anderson. I'm 47, though these days I feel a decade older. I work in logistics management for a major retail conglomerate, a job that keeps me pinned behind a desk more often than I'd like. I used to believe I was working all those hours for the good of our marriage, Evelyn and me, building a life here in the outskirts of Seattle, forging something stable, comfortable, respectable. We've been married almost 20 years. She was the only woman I ever truly opened up to. The only one who could make me believe in forever. Yet now I see this image on my phone, broadcast by one of her girlfriends, someone who evidently decided to tag Evelyn in a fun memory from a recent trip. And I'm left crushed beneath the reality of how fragile forever can be. I stare at the screen. My ears ring with a surge of blood. Each beat of my heart feels like a punch to my rib cage. There's a caption beneath the photo that reads, "So proud of these two." Innocuous to someone who knows nothing about our situation. But to me, it sounds like mockery. I remember this man, Marcus Rogers, an IT consultant Evelyn once introduced me to. Supposedly, he was a resource on a new project her marketing agency was collaborating on. We shook hands, had a beer once after some dinner event. He was younger than me by a few years. Confident, quick-witted, full of jokes that made people gravitate toward him. I remember Evelyn gazing at him with that spark in her eyes, the way a woman looks at something that excites her. Now, staring at the evidence of what I refuse to admit, my pulse thrums with a venomous resentment. She's mine, a voice in my head hisses. But is that even true anymore? I can't sleep. I pace around our living room, the glow of the fireplace painting flickering shadows across the walls. The embers crackle and pop, spitting sparks that die the moment they leap. My phone rests on the coffee table. Every few minutes, I pick it up again, returning to that hateful photo as though I need to brand the image onto my memory. By 3 in the morning, I'm exhausted but too angry, too humiliated to drift off. In the reflection of the phone screen, I see my own face, drawn, hollow-eyed, brimming with emotions I can't name properly. Somewhere in my mind, I replay every moment of our life together that I believed was solid. The Sunday barbecues, the lazy mornings when I'd wake to see her lying across my chest, my arms around her waist. The day she got her promotion and practically flew into my arms, the moment she walked in the door. Our wedding day. Our vow renewal on our 10th anniversary. A swirl of images, each more painful than the last, Because the woman in that photo with Marcus doesn't look like someone who's struggling with guilt or second thoughts. She looks happy. Hours later, Evelyn returns home from one of her business trips. She's holding a box of gift items, souvenirs maybe. Her expression is half-forced cheer. That bright, insincere smile I've come to despise. She sets the box on the kitchen counter, unaware that I'm standing in the doorway between our living room and the kitchen, arms folded, eyes fixed on her. I notice how her shoulders tense briefly, like she can sense there's something off with me. Then she tries to play it cool. "Hey," she says, offering a tight smile. She looks me in the eye for a moment, then glances away toward the floor. "I brought you something from the trade show. Figured you'd like a new set of noise-canceling headphones for your flights. I know how those cross-country trips stress you out." She's talking too fast, too animatedly. It's like she wants to fill the space with meaningless chatter so I won't get a word in. I say nothing at first, just watch her. In my mind's eye, I see her lips pressed to his. I imagine them in some hotel room, bodies tangled on crisp white sheets, her hair draped across his chest. My jaw tightens so hard it's painful. The phone in my pocket buzzes. Another notification from social media, probably someone commenting on the photo. My hand tightens around the device like it's a lifeline. Evelyn glances at me, notices the severity in my face. "What is it?" she asks. She sets the box of souvenirs aside. "Richard, are you okay?" I want to laugh bitterly. I want to throw the phone at her feet, show her the damned picture, the smug grin on that son of a bitch's face. But for a moment, I can't bring myself to do it. Because part of me still hopes there's a logical explanation, an innocent angle. Except I know there isn't. Her friend's caption might have been innocent, but the closeness in that photo is not. I swallow hard. "You had a good trip?" I ask, voice quieter than I intended. My mouth feels dry. She hesitates. "Yeah," she murmurs. "It was productive. Meetings went well." I hear the blatant lie in her tone. She's practiced at this by now. Did she rehearse her lines on the flight home? Did she wonder if I'd question her more closely this time? I take a measured breath and step toward her. She tilts her chin up, but her eyes dart left as if looking for an escape route. "You're sure there's nothing else you want to tell me?" I say, my voice already quavering with anger. Her brow furrows. "I'm not sure what you mean." "Let me show you something," I say. I pull the phone from my pocket. My heart is pounding so hard I feel dizzy. "Your friend, Rachel, or Debbie, or whoever, tagged you in this. She might not have realized I'd see it." I tap the screen, open the photo, hold it in front of her face. She goes pale. I watch her lips part, eyes widening in an instant of panic. Her throat works, but no sound emerges. For several seconds, we just stand like that, a silent freeze frame of raw tension. My hand trembles, the phone vibrating in the air. I watch her expression cycle from shock to a frantic attempt at composure. "Richard," she whispers, "it's not what it looks like." I almost bark out a laugh. "Of course it isn't," I snap. "But it never is it? Let's not insult each other. You're in his arms. You're practically pressed against him." She bites her lip, tears forming in her eyes. Once that sight would have broken my heart. But right now, I feel more rage than sympathy. She steps backward, her back colliding softly with the kitchen counter. The box with my gift teeters precariously. "I can explain." She tries again. "I swear it's not serious. It's just." "Don't," I say through clenched teeth. "Don't keep lying. I can handle the truth better than I can handle this charade." She inhales shakily, gaze flicking downward. "Marcus is..." She hesitates, searching for the right words. "It's complicated, Richard." The anger I've been holding in check starts boiling over, and my voice rises. "Complicated. You're smiling in that picture like you haven't smiled at me in years." She pushes a lock of her chestnut hair behind her ear, eyes brimming with tears. "It just happened. One night we were working late. It was some out-of-town conference. We We got carried away, and then it got deeper, I guess. I release a sound that's half snort, half sob. Deeper. Good to know you found depth. My voice shakes. How long? She presses her lips together, tears sliding down her cheeks. Several months. The words slice my heart open. Months. A cold wave of despair rushes through me, swiftly followed by a hot flush of rage. She's been with him while I was here, alone in this empty house, while I was trusting her to be faithful. The betrayal stings so fiercely I can taste bile in my mouth. Were you ever going to tell me? I ask, voice throbbing with a bitter edge. She crosses her arms around herself. I didn't know how. I kept thinking, maybe I'd end it. I never meant to hurt you like this. That's reassuring, I say, stepping back as if her proximity burns me. Well, you succeeded anyway. We stand there with the phone screen still glaring between us, the damning photo mocking everything we once had. My mind whirls. Scenes flash unbidden. The night she came home late, smelling of hotel soap. The last time we made love, and how distant she felt, as if going through the motions. And the worst part is, I feel the corners of my eyes burning with tears, but I can't let them fall. I ball my fists, nails digging into my palms. I want to break something. I want to scream. But all that emerges is an agonized hush, strangling me from the inside. Finally, she says, I'm sorry, Richard. I'm so sorry. Her eyes plead with me. But I don't see regret there, only fear of being exposed, of losing this safe nest she's had with me. My gut churns. I step away from her, aware I can't keep standing here, or I'll say something I might regret forever. Or maybe I won't regret it at all. The line between love and hatred is so thin at this moment, I can barely differentiate which side I'm on. I walk back to the living room, the heat of the fireplace fueling the storm inside my chest. She follows me, her footsteps tentative. She tries to reach out, maybe to rest a hand on my shoulder. I jerk away from her touch like it's poison. Don't, I whisper. Just don't. She stays quiet. We listen to the crackle of the fire, the hiss of logs collapsing into ashes. My mind is chaotic. Half of me wants to turn around and embrace her, demand we fix this, cling to the battered fragments of our marriage. The other half imagines throwing her out, or leaving myself, or smashing the framed wedding photo on the mantel. I can still remember the day that picture was taken. She wore a white gown that made me feel like the luckiest man alive. I'd sworn I would take care of her, protect her. But there's no vow to protect yourself from betrayal. Richard, she tries again softly. Can we talk this through? Talk. I echo, so quietly it almost vanishes beneath the fire's crackle. That's all we ever did when there was a problem. But you, my voice breaks. You went behind my back. You gave another man the side of you that's supposed to be mine. She flinches as though I slapped her. Her eyes glisten with tears she tries to hold back. I never stopped loving you, she murmurs. It was a mistake. I mean, it started as a mistake. Then I got lost in it, and I couldn't stop. But I do love you. Those words carve an even deeper ache. Love, I say, shaking my head. That word is meaningless right now. She stands there, arms wrapped around her own torso, like she's trying to shield herself from the shards of our broken marriage. Silence weighs on us both. Over the next few days, I exist in a haze of despair and fury. I can't look at her without picturing him. I can't sleep in our bed without imagining the nights she might have shared with Marcus in some hotel suite. She tries to talk, but I evade her, leaving early for work or locking myself in the den. My anger festers, fed by every reminder of the life we once built. I cycle through the same questions. Was I not enough? Did I drive her away by working too much? Is it because I'm getting older, while Marcus is still in his prime? I feel humiliatingly inadequate. One evening, I scroll through social media again. My fingers tighten around the phone. A friend of Evelyn's posted something in her story. A cryptic caption. when your boyfriend is better than your husband. It's not explicitly referencing Evelyn, but something about it strikes me like a blow to the gut. My mind conjures an image of them together again, her laughing softly, whispering endearments. My chest constricts with a savage wave of jealousy and resentment. That's when an idea starts to take shape. Up to now, I've been drowning in helplessness, wanting to vomit out every emotion that churns inside me. But in that moment, I realize I don't have to remain powerless. There are steps I can take. I decide to gather any evidence I can. Messages, photos, anything that confirms Evelyn's infidelity. I don't know yet how I'll use it. Maybe divorce. Maybe public humiliation. Maybe something worse. But I'm done just lying there like a wounded dog. I snoop through her laptop when she's out one day. Heart hammering, I open her email. Sure enough, there are threads with Marcus about business calls, late meetings, travel coordination. But the tone of these messages changes once they get comfortable. Pet names, flirty jokes, private references that reek of intimacy. One in particular sets my teeth on edge. He mentions a night in Boston, describing in graphic detail how she felt in his arms. My stomach turns, reading words I can never unsee. They're burned into my mind now, fueling a rage so potent I can taste metal on my tongue. I copy everything onto a flash drive. It's my insurance, I tell myself. Proof that I'm not insane or paranoid. Proof that there was a time when she was moaning his name in a bed we were paying for together. As I shut down her laptop, I'm trembling with fury. Still, beneath the anger, there's a bottomless sorrow, because I recall the day she bought this laptop. It was a gift from me to celebrate her new position at the marketing firm. When she comes home that night, I watch her from behind the rim of a whiskey glass. She tries to speak to me, but I hold up a hand to silence her. I down my drink and walk away. I can't even form words at that moment. I just know that the hatred in me grows deeper every day. It's not that I stopped loving her. Ironically, that's the worst part. I love her enough that I wish I could erase everything, push a reset button, pretend none of this ever happened. But I can't. I keep picturing her in his arms. Every conversation in the house is a landmine waiting to explode. She begs me to let her explain. She tries to say she ended it with him after I confronted her, that it was never truly about love for her. But for me, those words can't mend the savage wound she inflicted. A week passes like this. Tension so thick, it's suffocating. I go through the motions at work, but inside I'm unraveling. Some nights I find myself standing in the bedroom door, watching her sleep, remembering how I used to gently run my hand along her side, how she'd murmur my name in the dark. Now I'm afraid to touch her, afraid I'll either break down crying or lash out in anger. Part of me contemplates ending it all, just stepping in front of traffic or swallowing a bottle of pills. The pain is so relentless it feels easier to die than face another day. But I hold on to my anger, use it like a shield against despair. One night, I come home late. I've been out driving aimlessly, a half-empty bottle of cheap whiskey in the passenger seat. I know it's reckless, but I don't care. Living or dying is all the same at this point. The moment I step into the house, I see her in the living room. She's on the couch, phone to her ear, speaking softly. Her eyes snap to me as I cross the threshold. She quickly ends the call. Something cold and sharp twists in my gut. Who was that? I demand, voice rough. She looks away. No one. Just a friend. A friend, I echo with bitter sarcasm. Is it him? She hesitates. I glare at her, fists clenching. I'm unsteady on my feet, but I force myself to approach. The whiskey on my breath is strong enough to make her eyes water. When she doesn't answer, I slam my hand down on the coffee table. The lamp rattles precariously. Answer me, I snarl. Was it him? Yes, she finally says, her voice cracking. He called tow. I don't know. He said he wanted to talk. I told him it was over. Oh, you told him. I scowl, a laugh like broken glass tearing my throat. So noble of you. She stands, trembling. She dares to reach out. resting a hand on my forearm. "I'm trying, Richard," she pleads. "I'm trying to make it right. I ended it. I don't want to lose you. End it," I repeat. "Like a light switch, you can just turn it off. You can just flick a switch and erase the fact that you gave yourself to him." Her face contorts in anguish. "I made a mistake." "Stop calling it that," I hiss. "You don't trip and fall into bed with another man. You planned it. You cultivated it. God, I can't stand looking at you sometimes." Her eyes fill with tears again, and I hate how even now I feel a twisted urge to comfort her. My heart is such a damn traitor. Instead, I wrench away from her touch and storm up the stairs to the guest bedroom, slamming the door behind me. I lean back against it, chest heaving. I feel tears burning in my eyes, and I let them fall this time. The release tastes bitter. I hate myself for still caring. In the days that follow, a grim determination settles into me. If she ended it with him, I'll see proof. I take a leave of absence from work, telling them I'm dealing with a family emergency, which is true enough in its own horrifying way. Then I set about monitoring her every move, checking phone records, scanning credit card statements, even trailing her once or twice to see if she's lying about her whereabouts. It's a wretched, humiliating existence, but I can't stop myself. Part of me wants her to slip up so I have an excuse to unleash the revenge fantasies that swirl in my head at night. Meanwhile, she tries everything to fix this rift between us. She cooks my favorite meals. She texts me sweet messages. She even offers counseling. But every gesture is tinged with guilt, overshadowed by what's already been done. I respond in cold monosyllables, refusing to give her the satisfaction of my forgiveness. Not that I could forgive her even if I tried. Late one afternoon, while rummaging through some old photo albums in the basement, I find pictures from our wedding day. There's one shot where Evelyn is looking at me with the purest adoration I've ever seen. It's like she believed I was her entire world. I stand there in the stale basement air, tears dripping onto the dusty plastic cover of the album. My chest clenches with an ache so powerful I have to sit down. I love her. God help me. I still love her. And I hate her for what she's done. That night, she tries to break the silence between us. We sit across from each other at the dining table, the meal untouched. "I'm leaving for a conference in Denver," she says, quiet but resolute. 2 days. It's a work obligation. "Is he going to be there?" I ask, voice like a blade. She hesitates. "I don't think so. He wasn't scheduled, as far as I know." I nod stiffly, looking down at my plate. "Fine," I say. "Go." She sighs, wiping at her eyes. "Richard, I want you to believe me. It's over. I'm not seeing him anymore. I'm trying to repair this, toe." "Repair," I interrupt, my stomach twisting. "We're beyond that word, Evelyn." She drops her gaze. I watch tears spill onto her cheeks, but I can't bring myself to comfort her. She stands and walks away without another word. I remain at the table, staring at the half-eaten dinner. The house feels like a mausoleum, silent, cold, haunted by everything we've lost. When she leaves for Denver the next morning, I feel an odd sense of relief. It's like I can finally breathe without her presence reminding me of betrayal. But my thoughts keep circling back to that day I found the photo, to the trembling in her voice when she confessed. Scenes of them together churn in my imagination, fueling my anger. At some point, I down a few stiff drinks, slump onto the couch, and pass out. A day later, she's still in Denver. My phone lights up with a notification. It's from social media again. My heart thuds. I open it, see a new set of pictures from a marketing event, a fancy cocktail reception in a glossy hotel ballroom. She's in the background of one shot, her posture stiff. Marcus stands across from her, leaning in with that easy grin, though the camera only caught a partial view of them. My pulse roars in my ears. She said he wouldn't be there. But there he is, same function, same city, probably the same conference. My vision darkens with fury. She lied. Again, I can't describe the rage that overtakes me. It's as if a fuse inside me ignites. My chest constricts so hard I gasp. I drop the phone onto the couch, press my hands to my face. Betrayed once more, so soon, so easily. She told me it was over, yet here they are in the same room. Maybe it's a coincidence, maybe not. My exhausted mind doesn't care. All I know is, I'm done being the pitiful, oblivious husband. I pack a quick bag. I book the next flight to Denver. My hands are shaking as I type in my credit card details. The entire trip to the airport is a blur of adrenaline and heartbreak. I can't wait around for explanations. I need to see this with my own eyes. A savage, desperate part of me wants a confrontation. I want to see the fear in both their faces when they realize I've come to reclaim what's mine. Or maybe I'll just watch from afar, gather final proof, and then exact my revenge in a more calculated way. My thoughts are frantic, half-formed, fueled by hurt, and an overwhelming sense of betrayal. When I land in Denver, I navigate downtown traffic and head straight to the hotel that's hosting the marketing convention. The place is enormous, all gleaming marble floors and high ceilings. I wander through the lobby, scanning the faces. I'm half crazy, walking around with a tension in my gut that borders on violent. Then, near the bar, I spot them. Evelyn stands by a tall cocktail table, a glass of white wine in her hand. Marcus is beside her, leaning in with an easy familiarity. They're not touching, but the tension between them is unmistakable. I see her face, torn, nervous. I can read her expression even from a distance. I feel an odd flicker of relief, because she doesn't look happy to see him. Still, the fact that he's here at all sends my mind reeling. I step forward, heart pounding so loud I'm sure people can hear it. Her eyes catch sight of me, widen in horror. She sets her glass down, mouth forming a silent Richard. I close the distance, ignoring the curious looks of the other guests. Marcus spots me, his posture tensing. He's shorter than me, but he's confident in a different way. Right now, though, there's a flicker of alarm in his eyes. "Richard, what are you doing here?" Evelyn asks, voice trembling. "You lied to me," I say in a low, dangerous tone. "You said he wouldn't be here." Marcus lifts his hands in a pacifying gesture. "Hey, man, calm down. This is a public event. We didn't plan." "Shut up," I snap, stepping closer. My fists clench at my sides. "This is between me and my wife, but it sure as hell involves you." His eyes flick around the barred area, probably assessing whether security is near. Evelyn grips my arm, her nails digging into my sleeve. "Stop," she pleads, voice shaking. "Richard, please, it's not what you think. I didn't invite him here. I didn't even know." I whirl on her, anger cracking my voice. "I've heard enough lies. You told me it was over. You told me I could trust you again." Tears bead in her eyes as guests begin to notice the commotion. She glances around, mortified. My chest heaves as I recall every humiliating moment, every sleepless night. Something in me breaks. I reach for her phone, which is on the table. She tries to snatch it away, but I yank it free, scanning recent messages. Sure enough, I see text exchanges with Marcus. Short, uncertain messages, but still. She texted him that she was already in the hotel, that she'd see him if they ran into each other. I laugh bitterly. "Ran into each other," I echo, voice raw. "So this is how you respect me." Evelyn's tears spill over. Marcus tries to intervene, stepping forward with his palms raised. "Richard, I'm telling you, we're not." I cut him off with a glare that could freeze fire. "You took what was mine," I hiss. "Months of sneaking around behind my back, lying to my face. You think I'll just stand by and let you keep humiliating me?" His face sets in a grim line, as if he's torn between fear and anger. "Look, man, I never meant for it to get so complicated," he says. "It started as something casual. I get that it was wrong. I told her we should come clean." "Shut your mouth," I shout, Voice echoing across the bar. Heads turn. Evelyn clutches my arm, sobbing now. "Richard, please," she whispers. "Let's go somewhere private." "You want privacy now?" I laugh, the sound harsh and brittle. After making a fool of me in front of the whole world. I sense movement. A hotel security guard approaches, looking concerned. Evelyn begs me to lower my voice. But I don't listen. My vision swims with rage. Marcus tries to say something else, but I barely register his words. In a white-hot flash, I lunge forward and grab the lapels of his jacket, slamming him against the table. Glasses clatter to the floor, the crash echoing through the lounge. Evelyn screams. Guests gasp. The security guard shouts at me to back away. But for a moment, I have him pinned, my face just inches from his. "You had no right." I snarl. "You." He looks genuinely frightened for a second. Then the guard seizes my arm, trying to pull me away. With great effort, I let go, stepping back, chest heaving. Marcus stands there, panting, smoothing his jacket. A flicker of anger crosses his face now. But before he can speak, the guard steps in front, telling us to take it outside, or he'll call the police. I let my hands drop. My breath is ragged, adrenaline surging through my veins. Evelyn stands there in tears, her face ashen. "Richard, please," she chokes out. I look at her, at him, at the ring of onlookers. My rage is so thick I can scarcely breathe. But I feel the presence of the guard, the stares. The last shred of self-control in me urges me to retreat, because if I stay, I'll do something I can't undo. I spin around and storm out of the lounge, ignoring the scandalized whispers that follow. Out on the street, the evening air is cool against my sweat-soaked face. My hands shake. I keep walking, not caring where I'm going, until I reach a deserted side street. My mind is a tempest, swirling with betrayal and heartbreak. Part of me wants to rush back inside and beat him senseless, but that won't fix anything. I slump against a lamppost, tears of rage and agony running down my cheeks. There's a gaping hole in my chest where my hope used to be. Eventually, Evelyn finds me. She approaches slowly, hugging her arms around her body. We stand beneath a flickering streetlight, the distant hum of traffic reminding me that normal life goes on while mine collapses. "I'm sorry," she murmurs. I hear the sincerity in her voice, but it only fuels my anger. I didn't invite him. I didn't want this to happen. He was there for a different panel. And I can't do this anymore, I say hoarsely. I can't keep hoping you'll come back to me completely. Every time I see you, I picture you with him. She moves closer. I ended it. I swear on everything. I want you, Richard. I love you. I didn't know he would be here. He saw me at the reception and came over. It sounds plausible, but I'm so raw with pain I can't accept it. Why the texts then? I challenge, asking to meet if we run into each other. She looks at the ground. I wanted closure. That's a word people like you use. I spit. Closure. You've torn me apart, Evelyn. She bursts into sobs, her shoulders shaking. I know, and I hate myself for it. Just, please, come back to the hotel. Let's talk privately. We end up in her hotel room, a sterile suite on the 18th floor. She closes the door behind me. The hush inside is unnerving, as if the whole world fell away. I notice the queen-sized bed, crisp white sheets. My stomach twists. I can't help picturing her with Marcus in a place just like this. She stands by the table, wringing her hands. "I never wanted to hurt you," she whispers. "You have to believe that." "But you did," I say, my voice flat. "Why now, Evelyn? Why are you trying so hard to fix it?" She looks at me with those tear-filled eyes. "Because I realized I can't lose you. Because despite what I did, I still love you. Yes, I messed up. I got swept away. I felt something new, exciting. But it was a lie, Richard. The real truth is what we built, even if it's battered. My chest is tight. How can I trust that? I ask, fighting back fresh tears. How can I believe anything you say? I'll do whatever it takes, she says. Therapy, counseling, quitting my job if I have to. Just please, don't leave me. I stare at her, breathing raggedly, wanting to believe. But the rage is still there, pumping through my veins like a drug. I take a step forward, close enough to see the tear tracks on her cheeks. My voice lowers to a growl. I need you to be honest about everything you did with him. No more half-truths. She shudders. I don't want to hurt you more. I almost laugh, a humorless bark. Too late for that. My gaze flicks to the bed. Did you sleep with him here? She shakes her head. No, not here. But in other places, right? My voice trembles with revulsion and heartbreak. Tell me. I need to hear it. She hesitates, tears falling again. Yes, she says, barely audible. Hotels, mostly on business trips. His apartment once. The words stab through me. My knees feel weak. In my mind's eye, I see them entwined, sweaty, breathless. My fists clench again. Part of me wants to rip the room apart. Another part wants to sink into the floor and disappear. My breathing turns ragged. She sees the torment on my face. I'm sorry, she whispers yet again, stepping closer. Her hand lifts to my cheek, trembling. And I let her touch me, though every nerve in my body screams in protest. Her palm is warm against my skin. For a moment, we just stand there, locked in a twisted tableau of despair and lingering attachment. Then, in a sudden surge of emotion, I grab her wrist and yank her closer. My voice cracks with a mix of anger and longing. Do you realize how badly I wanted to die these past weeks? How worthless you made me feel? Her eyes brim anew. No, she whispers. I never wanted that. But it's what happened, I say, my throat aching. I thought about ending it all because the woman I cherished was lying in someone else's bed, giving him smiles meant for me. Her face contorts in grief. I see real regret there, but I can't tell if it's enough. She tries to embrace me. My body goes stiff at first, then I feel her arms around me, trembling. I stand rigid, letting her cling to me like she's drowning. Part of me wants to push her away. Another part wants to bury my face in her hair and sob. I compromise by doing nothing, just letting her hold me while my anger roils beneath the surface like an active volcano. A long moment passes in tortured silence. Then I break away, stepping to the window. The night sky over Denver glitters with city lights. You broke us, I say quietly. I don't even know if we can be fixed. I know, she replies, voice raw. But please, Richard, if there's even a shred of hope, if you still love me, give me a chance to make it right. I turn, looking at her tear-streaked face. I still love you, I admit, and my throat tightens. But I also hate you. A sob escapes her. She covers her mouth with a trembling hand. Her shoulders quake. We spend the night in that room, talking in halting, painful fragments. She tells me about how the affair started. Some business dinner that led to drinks, led to confessions of mutual attraction, led to a desperate, clandestine fling that morphed into something she didn't know how to stop. She claims it was never love, just excitement and escape. She confesses she felt lonely with me, that I had become distant and consumed by my work, that she missed feeling special. Hearing her say it hurts like hell because it's not the first time a neglected spouse strays. But I can't excuse her choice. At some point, we both collapse into an exhausted, uneasy sleep. I stay on top of the covers, fully dressed. She drifts off next to me, her face turned away, as if she can't bear to meet my eyes even in slumber. Morning brings little clarity. The ache is still there, raw and unrelenting. We check out of the hotel. She has to remain for the rest of the conference, but I tell her I'm flying home. I can't stay in the same city with him, with the knowledge they might cross paths again. She begs me to let her come back too, but I refuse. Finish your work, I say, unable to look at her. We'll talk when you're home. She nods miserably, and I leave her standing in the lobby, tears glistening under the stark overhead lights. On the plane ride back, I stare blankly at the seat in front of me, my thoughts locked in a loop of everything that happened. The confrontation at the lounge, her pleas, the lingering taste of my own fury. By the time I land in Seattle, I know that if we do move forward, it'll never be the same again. Something in me is irreparably broken. Back home, I feel hollow. I place the flash drive containing her incriminating emails on my desk. I open my laptop, staring at the files, the messages. Hatred and heartbreak swirl in my gut. I could share these with her boss, her colleagues. I could ruin her career. A savage part of me wants to. Another part of me hates the ugliness taking root in my soul. I close the laptop without acting. Not yet. A few days later, Evelyn comes home. Ringed eyes, posture drooping with exhaustion. I listen as she tries to tell me everything that happened in Denver after I left. How she avoided Marcus. How she turned down any event he might attend. She says she's cutting all contact, moving to a different project, maybe even resigning from the agency. I see the desperation in her face. She's scared of losing me. And I realize that's my power now. My revenge, in a way, to keep her suspended in this state of dread. We start therapy, at her insistence. I go with skepticism carved into every tense muscle in my body. The counselor is a middle-aged woman who asks questions about our marriage, our communication, and most painfully, about the affair. Evelyn answers honestly, I think. I mostly stare at the floor, arms folded, my anger simmering beneath a veneer of civility. I half expect the counselor to scold me for my coldness, but she only urges me to express my feelings. I do, in flat, scathing sentences that make Evelyn weep. The counselor tries to get me to see Evelyn's perspective. I resist, because I'm tired of being the one who should understand. Weeks pass. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, some semblance of conversation returns to our home. The therapy sessions force us to talk, force me to confront the question, do I want to save this marriage, or do I want to watch it burn? On my darkest nights, I still fantasize about humiliating her, about calling up Marcus and demanding he face me again. I want to see fear in his eyes. I want him to regret the day he laid a hand on my wife. One afternoon, I receive a phone call from Marcus. He probably got my number from mutual acquaintances or from a hacked email chain. I debate ignoring it. My anger. That evening, I confront Evelyn about the call. She looks startled and says she didn't know he would reach out to me. She insists again that there's no contact. I study her eyes and see genuine remorse, confusion, fear. We stand in the dim kitchen, the overhead light buzzing faintly. She touches my arm, but I don't flinch away this time. Richard, she whispers, I want this to work. I know you'll never forget, but maybe we can heal. I gaze at her, torn between love and hate. I don't know how, I admit, voice raw. She slips her arms around my waist. I feel her press her face to my chest. The closeness, the warmth, I've missed it so much, but it's tainted now. My entire being is a battleground. Slowly, I lift my arms and place them around her. She sobs quietly into my shirt, apologizing over and over. I stare at the ceiling, eyes hot with tears I refuse to shed right now. In the next therapy sessions, we discuss the concept of forgiveness. The counselor says it's a process, not a single moment. Evelyn says she's willing to do anything to earn it. I remain guarded, but a small part of me stirs with the desire to try. Not because I think it's easy, or that the pain will vanish, but because ending my life or drowning in hatred isn't truly living. And deep down, some flicker of love for her still burns. Even after all she's done, time lurches forward. Days become weeks, then months. We attend counseling, speak haltingly about the past. She changes jobs, cutting all ties to Marcus's firm. The final act of severance is her sending him a brief email stating she wants no more contact, no more illusions of friendship. When she shows me the email, I watch the cursor blink on the screen, a small detail of finality. She hits send, and in that moment I realize this is her attempt to prove she's severed the connection for good. But it's not enough for me to trust her again, not right away. My revenge, if I can call it that, has been slow, subtle, making her live with the guilt, see the anguish in my eyes every day. Sometimes I catch glimpses of her working late in the kitchen, tears drying on her cheeks as she tries to salvage the remnants of our life. Other times, she'll lie awake in bed, glancing at me with longing or sorrow. I pretend to sleep, but I feel her gaze. It's a wretched dance between love and bitterness. Eventually, though, we start to share tentative smiles again. She makes a special dinner for my birthday. I take her out to a local winery one afternoon, trying to reconnect. We don't talk about the affair that day. We just sip wine, watch the sunset over the vineyards, and for a few hours, we're almost ourselves again. That night, we share a bed without me recoiling from her touch. There's an awkwardness, an unspoken memory of her betrayal. But I need to feel close to her, to remind myself that this was once something precious. We make love haltingly, my hands moving over her body with a mixture of need and lingering resentment. She cries afterward, whispering she's sorry, and I hold her in silence. The final rupture, the final act of my pent-up rage, comes unexpectedly one day when a coworker of mine casually mentions that people talk, that they suspect something happened in my marriage. The rumor mill in corporate circles can be vicious. I realize word has spread, though no one says it to my face. I come home that evening furious, confronting Evelyn about the fact that even if I try to forgive her, the world might not let me forget. She breaks down, says she'll go public if I want. She'll confess her wrongdoing to whomever, if that's what it takes to free me from the humiliation. I stare at her, seeing how shattered she is, how desperate, and in a perverse twist, that's the moment I let go of my vengeance. Because the power to publicly shame her was always in my hand, but looking at her tear-streaked face, I realize it won't heal me. Watching her suffer in front of the world won't erase the nightmares I've endured. It won't bring back my peace. The only thing it might bring is emptiness. So I tell her I won't do it. I won't broadcast her guilt to the world. I just want to heal, I whisper. I just want some kind of future that doesn't feel like hell every morning. She nods, tears sliding over her cheeks. I understand. We continue therapy. Slowly, day by day, the raw edges of my agony begin to dull. I don't trust her blindly. Maybe never again. But she no longer hides her phone, no longer goes on suspicious trips, no longer has any reason to speak to Marcus. I still hate him for what he took from me, for what they both took, but I don't hate myself anymore. The final scene of my private war unfolds late one evening. I'm sitting in front of the fireplace again, the same place where it all came crashing down when I first saw that damning photo. The flames cast dancing shadows across the room. Evelyn walks in quietly. She settles beside me on the rug, a cautious distance away. We haven't shared the same closeness for months. Richard, she murmurs. May I sit closer? I meet her gaze. Even now, I see flickers of guilt in her eyes. Shame. But also devotion, or something that looks like it. Maybe it's love, a battered, uncertain form of it. I nod. She scoots nearer, until I can feel the warmth of her body. We stare at the fire for a while, saying nothing. Finally, she breaks the silence. I know I can't erase what I did, she says. But I promise you, with everything I am, I'll spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you again. My throat constricts. Tears well in my eyes, tears I'm tired of shedding. I swipe them away and speak in a weary murmur. I appreciate that. Her trembling fingers reach for my hand. I let her take it. The contact is small, but significant. In that moment, Something inside me loosens, like a knot slowly untangling. I'm still hurt, still angry, still not fully sure if I can ever trust her again. But I know I'm not ready to throw away 2 decades of marriage. Not yet. We sit there, hand in hand, the embers glowing in front of us. I realize that the path forward is riddled with doubt and lingering pain, but it's a path we might be able to tread together, if we both have the will. I feel no triumph, no grand closure. I feel tired, uncertain. But I also feel a faint flicker of hope. I remember the word she used: closure. The irony is that closure may never come, not in a neat package. But maybe there can be acceptance, a fragile sense of acceptance. Maybe we can build something new on the ashes of what burned so painfully. And so, as the flames die down, and the clock ticks toward midnight, I turn to her. I rest my other hand gently on her cheek, brushing away the tears that threaten to fall. My voice is hoarse, but steady. We'll try, I say. But know this: I won't survive another betrayal. If this happens again, I'll be gone. She nods quickly, tears slipping free in earnest. It won't, she whispers. I promise. The logs in the fireplace crumble, sending a last flurry of sparks into the air. And that's where we sit, side by side in the faint glow, trying to stitch together what's left of our lives. My pain hasn't vanished. My love hasn't vanished either. Both exist in a trembling balance, each threatening to eclipse the other. I close my eyes, feeling her warmth against me. For better or worse, I'm still here. So is she. The final image that lingers behind my eyelids isn't the hateful photo that started it all, but the memory of the day we exchanged vows. I hear her voice from that long-ago moment, promising forever. I only hope that we can shape a new promise, fragile but real, out of the rubble of our mistakes. Even now, with heartbreak scorching my soul, I cling to that last thread of hope. I won't say the story is over. It never truly is. But for tonight, I let out a long, unsteady breath and allow myself to feel the faint stirrings of relief. Because in the darkness, with the embers still flickering, I choose to believe that there might be a way forward. And maybe, just maybe, I'll find it in the warmth of her trembling hand wrapped tightly around mine.